This video isn't about... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. How do you get big on YouTube? How do you do it? No, genuinely, I'm asking you. I've got no idea. I don't know. I don't think it's this. I don't think this is how you do it. I've been doing this for years. I still, from the moment I started to now, I haven't changed my outlook in thinking that this is not how you do it. No. Don't do what I do. Rule number 1, don't do this. Don't do whatever this is. No, but genuinely, I don't know what this video is going to be, but how do you get big on YouTube? Tell me. Post in the comments. Post in the comments how you do it, because that's what I want to do. That's what I'm after. I'm after the riches, the fame, the glory, to be big on YouTube. That's why you clicked on this video. You want to find out all the tips and tricks and secrets. How do you get big on YouTube? Well, I've got a secret. I know. I'm not doing it. I'm not actually, it's too much of a secret to reveal, to actually do it. But I could, if I wanted to, I could be big on YouTube. If I wanted to, I could be big on YouTube. Are you kidding me? I could do it if I wanted to. If I wanted to, I could be big on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to keep any of this in. This is just me being ridiculous. Well, look, we're going to explore this topic today. Greetings, welcome. Here's some pixel art. Watch it. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about what that question means. We're going to discuss things that have been going on as I've ventured my way through the cyberspace. Little topics and things that I've been noticing going around lately. Hopefully it's not going to be as long as last video, which was too long. While we do this though, this piece I'm quite pleased with. You're watching a little time lapse of some pixel art. It's inspired by this cool thing that happened. To be honest, I'm not a huge expert. I vaguely just know about this existence. I think it's like a collaboration of a bunch of different artists have got together and they've recreated the map of Johto. So they've recreated a district in Pokémon, the Johto Gen 2, redrawn it in their kind of own styles, and they've all like mashed it together, and they finished it the other day. They've mashed the whole map together, a bunch of different artists, and they've redrawn the whole Johto region. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. I've seen like rumblings of it going on, and occasionally you see people draw it. So I thought I'd do some Johto Pokemon stuff. As it happens, my favourite Pokemon of all time, Umbreon, is from Gen 2. So I've drawn like a little autumnal scene with a trainer, with the bell tower from the game. And the trainer's got like an Umbreon and an Espeon. Most of this video is me drawing leaves. I'm going to just break it to you now. I feel like most of this video is just me drawing leaves. I'm pleased with how it turned out. It takes me a while to decide how far away I want the tower, but the way that I do it, I think is, I like it in the end. I could have done some more details in the background, I feel. And I could have done a bit more texture in the stairs. The character design at the end was quite hard. I'm not like totally pleased. It's really hard to draw Pokemon. I find it really hard to draw Pokemon in like a style. Like I try to do it in like my style, I sometimes find it hard to draw Pokemon. Do you ever find that? I don't know. I feel like certain things are harder to draw fan art of than others. I think I've mentioned it on this channel before, but I'm never sure how much to take from the style of the thing that I'm doing the fan art of. I find myself just basically recreating the style too perfectly, or I feel myself not doing the style enough, if that makes sense. So it's all right in the end. I like it. But going back to the topic, how do you get big on YouTube? How do you do it? How do people do it? Before we get any further, I'm gonna just lay out my hippy dippy beliefs. As usual, you can't ignore certain aspects, and I'm not saying this to get some sort of like moral praise, but like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, Harry, yeah, right on. It's not about getting famous and rich, and yeah, you shouldn't want to get big and famous. Like, that's not what life's about. As much as that's true, and I understand, like, as much as I sort of do believe that, I also understand that it's like a very normal thing to want like more people to see your stuff. It's a very normal thing to want to achieve, like, aim towards a goal where you can do what you want for a living. You can't ignore these things, that they're very human desires. It would be very easy for me to sit here and be like, oh, you shouldn't want to get big on YouTube, and it's not about the numbers and blah blah blah. Obviously there's still this side to, like, especially like artistic creation and things like that, where it's like, obviously everyone wants a certain degree of a certain amount of a following, if only it's just to fulfill, I've said it before on this channel I think, but like fulfill the interaction of even just making a video. It's like, without you sitting there and watching this, there's little point in the making. But having said that, although I hold the belief of like pure like artistic creation and artistic freedom, and the reason why people do art isn't to have an audience, if you then want to turn that artistic endeavor into a career, then it inevitably means you have to have an audience. You know what I mean? So it's almost like I believe in a separation of those two things. It's like, you shouldn't be getting into art to get in a career in art. You should already be like passionate about art. So if you're getting into art because you're like, oh, money maker, oh yeah, what I feel like? I feel like getting a following, so I'm gonna just take up art like that. I don't think that's not real. That's not why people are doing it. You need to separate the two things. I think your passion for creating and your longing to want to make things should be in no way linked to your following. Now, obviously, that's quite hard to do. Time and time again, you see people talking about how, like, oh, I did this thing and it took me ages, and oh, no one saw it and no one liked it. Oh, but I did this other thing that just took me a couple minutes and it was shit and I hated it, but loads of people liked it. You see that type of thing, and obviously it's an eternal struggle to separate your self-worth from the response your art gets from like social media, for example. That's sort of what I'm trying to get at here. You want to get big on YouTube, I feel like you need to be ready and go into it, and go into that idea and that desire and that longing with it already inbuilt in you, that you love making art regardless of anyone seeing this. There are artists out there that are just like kind of just do it in their personal time. They don't maybe necessarily even show anyone. They're just practicing and doing loads of art. I feel like those people are genuinely out there. I truly think that everyone can be creative and that everyone is creative. It's just people have different levels of what they're actually genuinely interested in. So I feel like everyone has the capability of being creative, but it's whether or not people have like the passion and outlook on certain things that will lead them down different paths of creativity. So it's important to, from the get-go, you want to get big on YouTube, separate it from the self-worth and passion for your art. That should just be innate in you. You want to make stuff, minimize expectations, just have no expectations going into it. It's something that's difficult to do maybe, and you know after a few years you might be like, I give up doing this aspect of it. But it shouldn't dampen your creativity of the art itself, I feel like it's tricky, I'm almost asked, sometimes that might feel like an impossible thing to do. And then secondly, I would just naturally, I feel like I can't not go down this route, but I would just ask, like, why do you want to get big on YouTube? Like, why do you, like, really, like, analyze where that longing comes from? There are loads of perfectly good reasons why you would want to get big on YouTube. There's evidence, like, all over the place. Just having it as a career, doing this, doing that. There are loads of perfectly fine reasons, and that's why people want to get big online followings and stuff. I just can't ignore my hippy dippy belief of just that it should be obvious to everyone that that's not like the point of doing art, and as much as I also agree that we're all like on this hustle and we're all on this grind to like make a career and get money and make art and make a living and stuff, and as much as that is all valid 100%, it's almost like, yes, but we should be above that. We should be like trying to fight for a society and like a government and like a world where people are looked after regardless. Like, we shouldn't have to exist in this world where people are desperately fighting to make a living out of their passion and make a living out of what they want to do, because it's so impossibly hard to do it. We should be living in a much more collaborative world where people are able just to follow their dream. I'm not going to say to anyone it's wrong that you want to make a career and a living out of being like an online person or like make a living out of your art. Obviously, that's basically what I also want. But to me, it's almost like the problem is bigger than that. The problem is that we live in a world where you aren't able to. Like, I think it's shit that there are so many people out there that want to be artists and they are following their dream and they're desperately struggling, and they might be incredibly talented, but we just live in this world that's like incredibly competitive, uncaring world where laws and agendas and capitalistic fucking monstrosities with a stranglehold on everyone, to the point where we're now like arguing with each other whether or not you should want to get big on YouTube, or why you're following your dream, don't. Anyway, there's just been a few interesting things lately online that I've been seeing. I've been seeing people like talking about social media and like how to be good at social media, and it always like rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I'm always a bit like dubious. I'm always a bit like, there's always the people that are like, oh, you shouldn't want a big following. You don't need a big following. Big followers aren't everything. It doesn't mean I'm getting loads of money if I've got loads of followers. And then you get other people who are like, yes, but obviously you have a bigger following, so therefore you probably most likely get more commissions, whereas I'm just a little artist and I don't get any commissions and blah blah blah, and so followers does technically lead to more money. And it's interesting seeing all these takes, and there's like dodgy stuff going on, people like trying to give reasons why they think they get followers and stuff like that. And obviously there's privilege. Obviously some people don't even have the time to cultivate social media. It's just one of those things where there's so many things at play. That's what leads me on to think of the like bigger picture, because as much as these things are true, that like, yeah, you shouldn't tie your self-worth to your follow account or anything like that, but at the same time it is completely understandable to like want to aspire to this format where you have conceivably like a lot of freedom to do what you want. You're making a living off your art, like directly. So it's like one of those things where it's completely understandable why people are striving towards it. I just think that all the problems are big problems that mean that you need to be really sort of focused and ready on how you approach and how you look at the ways in which you're planning to go about it. Because basically, I don't know how you get big on YouTube. I've been doing this a long time, and I don't think it's this stuff doesn't work, you know? Doing a bit of time-lapse, I'm just being honest. I don't know, I feel like, yeah, sure, maybe I could do some tutorials. Maybe tutorials will get more people clicking on stuff. Maybe clickbaity titles will get people clicking on stuff. But I'm just letting you know that at the same time, deep down, what's more important, like, as well as the bigger picture, like, we need big social, political change, as well as that, the even bigger picture is that I just can never ignore my, like, hippy-dippy beliefs that, like, I'm a human, I've come from this universe, I'm here, I'm making art, I'm no more worthy or less worthy than anyone else, and neither are you. You know, people are where they are from just a whole load of reasons, from where they were born, where they went, the experiences they've gone through, the sort of like randomness and luck of life and the journeys that we've all been on. How can you ignore that when you think about like where you're at? That's the even bigger picture of what you need to like learn about yourself and why you're doing art. Life is short. We're all just here. Money? Bullshit. A human construct of shittiness. I'm still doing it. I'm still here. I'm still saying these things and I'm doing these little pictures. I'll be lying if I didn't say like it would be great to not have to go to my part-time job, but there's no point in letting that get in the way. Why ruin the time that you've got here in the moment for a perceived future and let that impact upon like your self-worth? I don't know. Grass is always greener. Leaves are always changing. I'm being poetic now. I'm being a little poetic little shit. Oh, this is not why you clicked on the video. You wanted to know top tips of how to get big on YouTube. I don't know. I'm just rambling now. I hope you're doing all right on the other side of this screen. I hope you're enjoying this little Johto redraw, inspired by the Johto redraw stuff. Go play some Pokemon. Have you seen the new Pokemon news? It was like Pokemon the 25th anniversary. Oh man, I grew up playing Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I've played every Pokemon game, kind of, in the mainline series. Yeah, I'm excited for the new Pokemon, kind of. I'm going to be honest, Gen 4, not my favourite. Gen 4, 5, 6, not my favourite. But I'm intrigued about the new Legends game, but it's also like, to me, if it's like a big sandbox and there's not much like story and characters and different trainers around, I just feel like it's got a danger to just feel like Pokemon Wild Area, the game. You know, imagine if it's just one big field and there's just Pokemon and not much else. I don't know whether I'd actually like that. What's fun about Pokemon is like having your little squad, building it up, meeting other little squads, meeting the gym leaders. They're always cool characters, finding different towns and cities and exploring, you know? So if it's just like a big field where you just go around catching Pokemon and like collecting them or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun for a bit, but give me Pokemon Colosseum 2. Give me Pokemon XD 2. Am I right? Thanks for sticking around. Seriously, I've seen people coming back to this channel after a while. Thanks for watching my stuff. More drawings on the way. I'm feeling a bit weird. I'm feeling like got a few little commissions which are cool. Still working on game stuff and doing more drawings, but I feel like I've reached a bit of a lull on my drawings. Like I'm feeling a bit of a struggle. You know, I'm finding it hard to do stuff. Which is fine. I'm sure you're feeling that way too. We'll get there together. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're doing all right, and I hope your drawing's going well. I hope your art's going well. I've got ideas. I've got video ideas, potential video ideas. So we'll see where they lead. Oh, before I go, I'll just say the little meme I've seen going around on Twitter. The first Pokemon game that I ever played was Pokemon Red, and then like a few months later, I asked for Pokemon Blue because I was a little baby and I thought they'd be different. They weren't. So I got both the 2 games and I played it, but I didn't tell anyone that they weren't different because I was embarrassed. But I still had fun. I replayed it again. My favourite game of all time is Pokemon Soul Silver, Heart Gold. Just great. They follow you, you can get Umbreon. That's why. Great art. They should bring back pixel art. And then I've already said my favourite Pokemon is Umbreon. But I'm also a big fan of Decidueye and Gallade. For sure. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. There's my I can package this neatly as a little Pokemon centric thing, as well as a weird YouTube ramble. What are you gonna do?